What's going on, Rob?
No!
The next day.
Sup? Dope. Right.
At the beginning of my career, I once shared this small apartment with a girl named Joy.
Sus. That piece look nasty as shit.
The day this incident happened, Joy and I was eating pizza, lying in bed and watching Purge on my laptop. We were so into the movie that we jumped when someone rang the doorbell.
Jesus, who is it now? I'll go check.
I got up and walked through the door. I looked through the eye hole and saw an average height, healthy looking man standing outside.
Wow.
He was a fireman. Thinking it might have been some emergency in the building, I answered the door.
Yes, is everything all right?
The man stared at me with a blank face.
I need to check your gas pipeline. Part of a routine check for building safety.
Oh, so Mrs. Williams sent you?
Yes.
What's going on?
I heard Joy's voice.
It's part of a routine thing, but I've been living here for 5 years, and y'all have never done that, and I ain't get no notice. My ass.
She came out and saw me talking to this fireman. I told her everything, and she told them, the firemen, that she will first contact Mrs. William for confirmation.
Hi, Mrs. William, it's Joy. Did you send someone for a routine gas pipe check?
Yes, just some casual formalities. He won't take long, though.
Oh, okay, thanks.
We moved out of the door and let the man in. He didn't say anything, just gave us a weird smile. Joy and I went back to our room. We just waited for the man to get done and leave.
You know, Mrs. Williams sounded strange. What? Why do you say that? Her voice was odd. She even hiccuped and
I started laughing.
Come on, Joy. You're overthinking a small incident. The poor lady might not be feeling well. She is 76. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, but Iggs, there's a difference between hearing to
We started watching the movie again and kept hearing the sound of tools rattling in the kitchen. After a time, we got restless from the fireman taking so long and thinking about what to do when we heard him calling out to us.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Both of us walked fast, thinking finally he was about to leave. But as we stepped into the living room, we saw another man in the apartment dressed exactly like the fireman, locking our door from the inside.
I needed a little help here, so I called my partner.
Now, I could feel drops of sweat on my forehead. The man didn't even bother to ask for our permission before inviting another guy into our apartment. The second guy now looked at me. We locked eyes, and he grinned, flashing yellow teeth. A pungent smell of tobacco and cheap alcohol was coming from his clothes. Joy looked at me. She was scared as well.
How long would it take?
Just a few minutes more.
I stood there, having no clue. Joy started dialing back for Mrs. William when suddenly the second guy hiccuped and said,
Can I have some water,
Oh
ma'am?
no!
Joy grabbed my hand tightly. Her body was shaking. The call to Mrs. William kept on ringing and no one picked up.
It was him. He took the previous call pretending to be Mrs. William.
As soon as we realized what grave danger we had invited in, our lives flashed in front of our eyes.
Why don't you guys come tomorrow? We need to go out.
It won't take long, miss. Yeah, we'll be done in no time.
I just want to let y'all know, if you ever meet somebody and the veins on their forehead look like electricity, haul ass.
Suddenly, they both lunged in our direction. The second fireman, who was taller and stronger built, went to grab me, and I turned around to run inside the bedroom. He got a tight hold of my hair. Still, I gave all my strength to pull away. He ripped a good patch of hair with skin and blood.
Oh, God!
Run, Joy!
I screamed and ran. Joy was too stunned to move at first, but then she also turned back to run. I got inside the bedroom, and Joy followed me. She was halfway in when both men pulled her from behind, and I had no choice but to close the door.
No!
I would have done the same thing.
No! Leave me! Let me go, you jerks!
I could hear Joy's cry for help, and the two men grunted.
Tie her hands and gag her mouth. Her screams will get us in trouble. I'm trying. The witch won't stop moving.
Help! Help! Help!
Hey, shut up. Shut your damn mouth.
That's when I heard a punch take place, and Joy's voice died down. I realized they had just knocked out my roommate, and now they were going to come for me. I dialed 911, and the operator picked up.
911, what's your emergency? We're getting attacked by these two men. They just hurt my friend, and now they're coming for me. Okay, don't worry, the cops will be at your location in no time. Just give me the address. It's 33 Rodeo Block, 12th Street. Please help us.
That's when the loud banging began.
Open the damn door, or we'll torture your friend so much that you will hear her pleading for death. Open the door!
They were kicking and punching the door. At one point, I even thought they would break it down. I was scared, paranoid, and almost ready to jump out of the window, but I couldn't leave Joy.
They're trying to get in. I have to open the door, or they're going to kill my friend. Calm down. Listen to me. Do you see any sharp objects near you? I'm inside the bedroom. There's a bed, laptop, and pizza. That's all. All the knives are in the kitchen. Did you say pizza? Please do something.
The man stopped kicking on the door and threatened me one last time.
I will count to 3. If you do not open this door, I will start skinning your friend alive. 1.
What should I do? Pour the chili flakes on your palm and open the door. Don't give them any chance and just blow the flakes onto their faces. Remember, you have to be really quick.
2. You're getting on my nerves, you stupid witch.
Joy is Mexican, so she loves spices 10 times more than me. She would always ask for extra chili flakes whenever we ordered pizza, and thank God for that day too, she did the same. I tore the packs and grabbed a handful.
3. That's it. Your friends are going to die horribly, and you will be the reason why.
Wait!
I slowly walked to the door and opened it just a little. The tall fireman inserted his head in one hand from the gap, trying to push the door, but before he could do that, I smudged his face with chili flakes. Chili seeds went inside his eyes and nostrils. He could feel the heat burning his face.
Oh! Oh, my eyes! My eyes! What? What happened? It's burning!
The man fell on the floor, grabbing his face. He could barely see.
I did not know that. I mean, I knew it was hot, but like, I did not know it would be that effective. Well, now we know.
The first guy panicked and tried to run away when I came out of my room, pushing him with all of my strength. He fell, and I sat on him and started rubbing his face with my chili flakes hand. I just didn't care anymore. I only wanted to teach him a lesson. Seeing me fight back, Joy too got back her lost courage. She was bleeding from her broken nose, but got up, gathering her remaining strength. She ran and opened the main door.
Help us! These men are trying to kill us!
One by one, she rang all the doorbells of the apartments on our floors, and the tenants came to our rescue. When the cops took those men away, their faces were unrecognizable. It was all red and swollen, and they could barely speak. The cops also found our landlord, Mrs. William, murdered in her ground floor apartment. Seems like these two robbers, pretending to be firemen, entered her apartment. They killed her and decided to go on with the robbery, invading every single apartment. To make things more believable, one even stayed at Mrs. Williams just to answer calls in case any tenants doubted them. Joy and I moved out to a girls' hostel within the month. I've never opened doors to strangers while being alone in my apartment ever since.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy.
Hey, my name is Rob. I'm 21 years old, and unfortunately, like many other people's lives have dealt them an unfortunate turn, I have to take care of my 2 little brothers since our parents are no longer with us. It has been more than 2 years since the day they were involved in a tragic car accident that took their lives.
Jesus.
That day, I had been asked to babysit my brothers. I didn't want to worry them, so I did my best to make them proud. What I didn't know was the one to be worried about was me. A drunk man hit them with his truck as they were coming back from dinner together. They died instantly. We had no other family, and I was adamantly opposed to them being orphaned and adopted. I couldn't imagine us being separated. Luckily, I had a very good freelance job and was able to support us and care for them at the same time. Besides, we were always a very wealthy family. Despite the tragedy, we were able to support ourselves as best we could. Luckily, in these 2 years my siblings helped me out a lot and even matured and grew up. But nothing could prepare them for what they were about to experience one hot summer night. To be honest, I consider it a miracle that I am here telling you this story, since there is no night where I don't wake up sweating, clutching my face, and wondering if this is a dream, since I feel that after what I lived through, I shouldn't be alive. To be exact, I can't say it happened one night. The days before that happened, something strange was happening. Every day I would wake up around 3 a.m.
God damn.
At first, I thought it was a coincidence, but after a week, I started to get scared. I'm not very Catholic, but I knew what that time meant. That was the time of the devil.
Okay.
The time when paranormal activity was strongest.
That's the first time I heard that in a while. You would have thought I am our Scary Tales is watching my videos. Because that's the first time I've heard somebody say some evil, paranormal clutch shit happens between the hours of 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. That's the first time I heard that in a while.
Every time a thought like that came into my head, I would laugh. But when I woke up at that time, I would look around in fear and feel it. I'd feel like someone was watching me, like I wasn't alone. I would turn on the lights and there was nothing, so I would go back to sleep with difficulty. Every night went on like that until one day, something strange started to happen. That night I woke up at 3:32 a.m. My shock was much greater than the other times. This time I didn't wake up randomly. I heard a noise. I opened my eyes in agitation and began to explore my room. I could swear I saw something move, but when I turned on the light, there was nothing. Had my brothers played a joke on me? The next day, I questioned them.
No, it wasn't us.
How your little brothers younger than you, but look old as shit?
Oh, so it was you. I can very easily tell when you're lying. It wasn't us. Don't pay attention to him. He's playing with you. What do you mean by that? Oh, come on. We see you every night. We're too old to fall for that stuff.
At those words, my blood froze.
What do you see during the night? Around 3 a.m., you always open our door and stare at us. Sometimes we pretend to be asleep and we see you making little noises to wake us up.
Hell
when we
no.
open our eyes pretending that you woke us up, you run away. You don't scare us.
At that confession, I was totally perplexed. My face turned white and my mouth fell open. I knew my brothers. I knew they weren't lying this time, but I simply couldn't digest what they were telling me.
Rob, what's going on? That's you at night, isn't it?
That night, the kids slept in my bed, and come 3 a.m., I was ready. I spent that night awake and kept a huge knife by my side. I must admit that the night did not start in the best way, as at 3 a.m. sharp, the power went out in the whole block. Was this a coincidence? I grabbed a flashlight and put it next to me. A few minutes later, my body was full of caffeine and I was not sleepy at all. While the children slept, I lay there, attentive. Suddenly, I heard a loud noise coming from the other side of the house, from the children's room. It had already started. I went quickly with the flashlight and the knife and started to look. My room, the hallway, the boys' room. I found nothing. I was about to go back, disappointed, but I thought I heard a noise coming from under the bed of one of the boys. I slowly approached the bed with my knife at the ready. Every step I took filled me with anticipation. I felt that these could be the last seconds of my life. It was a nightmare I didn't want to confront, and it was getting closer and closer to becoming a reality. I reached the bed, and terrified, prepared the knife and pointed the flashlight under the bed. It was a simple bug.
What?
I went back to my room,
Big
more
ass
relieved.
roach.
But when I got there, something caught my attention. My cell phone was on, and it was vibrating. I ran to it. Who could be calling me at this hour? When I opened it, an unknown number was in front of my WhatsApp box, and in our chat, there were several photo files. All those pictures were mine. There were several pictures of me sleeping on different nights, waking up at dawn, and looking confused in the dark. There were also pictures of the kids sleeping. What kind of psychopath were we dealing with? Suddenly, one last message appeared on my cell phone at that very moment. It was a new picture whose caption read, "Hi, Rob." When I opened the picture, my heart stopped. It was a picture taken at this moment. In it, I was standing scared, looking at my cell phone.
What?
I dropped my phone and pointed behind me with the flashlight to where the picture was taken. There was nothing there. Suddenly, a voice rang next to me, startling me.
What's going on, Rob?
Oh, God!
Get away from him!
Woo!
At my scream, the face quickly went back under the bed, and in desperation, I grabbed my two brothers and pulled them out of bed. The three of us headed for the door, escaping as quickly as possible from that room. But something caught my foot and I fell to the floor, dropping my knife and the flashlight. My brothers turned around and, frightened, looked at me.
What are you waiting for? Get out of the house and tell a neighbor to call the police. Now!
When the children obeyed me, I turned around, and above me, with my knife in his hand, was my attacker. Although it was difficult because of the darkness, this time I could make him out better. His whole body was covered. His mask was terrifying, and it was so close to his body that it looked like his own face. The man raised my knife in front of me, and when he did, I knew it was over. Every second felt like minutes. I felt like my whole life flashed before my eyes. I was defeated. I had no strength to resist, and it was all over.
It's payback time, Rob. Payback?
When the man raised his gun, I heard a new sound that left me shocked. The man was no longer in front of me, but on the ground, lying next to me unconscious. Behind me, my older brother was agitated, holding a broken baseball bat in his hands. My brothers disobeyed me. Instead of running away, they just reached for a weapon to save themselves.
Let's go.
When this guy woke up a few minutes later, the police had already handcuffed him. A little later, I found out who this man was. His father was under arrest, as he was the one who drove drunk and killed my parents. Can you believe that after leaving my brothers orphaned, his son thought he should take revenge on us because his father had been arrested? Clearly, both father and son were totally insane and were now imprisoned.
For life.
Since that day, my brothers and I are closer than ever. They're older now and need me less and less. We still live together. We are a team and we take care of each other. We lived through enough tragedies. We will never let anyone mess with us again.
I hope not. Fuck. Club.
I desperately want to move out of here. I know what happened was an unfortunate coincidence, but I can't stand it. What if it happens again?
What if your ears get bigger again? You got some big ass ears. Like, I understand this animation style, like you trying to switch it up, but like, god damn, you look like the daughter of like if guys can get pregnant, You look like the daughter of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence because of their ears. Like they had a baby and produced that. Because that's just outrageous. Your ears are just ridiculous. Dumbo don't even got nothing on you.
I feel in danger all the time in the place where I should be safe. The night everything happened, I was alone at home doing a school assignment on my computer in the bedroom. I was really focused.
What the heck?
I got up, left my bedroom, and went down half the stairs, since from there I could see the entrance and the living room from my home. A few seconds later, it happened again. I stood still, analyzing what was happening. My heart started to beat fast. I imagined the danger I was in, but I couldn't believe it. Is this really happening? I thought. No, it's over. That was what I wanted to think, since the seconds had passed and everything had gone back to completely silent. But soon, with the little lighting that there was, I managed to see a silhouette in front of the window of the living room. The person raised their hand, with which they held an object. It was at that moment I reacted and ran up the stairs without giving it much thought. Seconds later, I heard it. Quickly, before the person could notice, I turned off the light in my room and grabbed my cell phone, but I didn't stay there. Since my bedroom was located next to the stairs, I ran as quietly as possible to my parents' room, which was down the hall on the second floor. I soon went in as it was open. It was all so quiet that it seemed like no one else was there, which was really a disadvantage for me. I needed to close the door, but what if the invader heard me? What would they do to me? What did they want? My hand was shaking just above the door handle, but I finally managed to get a firm grip on it and turned it. Feeling how a great bead of sweat was running down my face, I pulled the door closer and released the handle. It had sounded much louder than I would have liked, so I just hoped the invader was far enough away. On weak legs, I walked away and hid behind my parents' bed. My hands were so covered in sweat that when I turned my phone on, they were fogging up the screen. Without waiting any longer, I dialed 911. Soon, a voice was heard.
911, what's your emergency?
I immediately turned the sound down a lot more, but my hands were shaking so much that it took me longer than it should have.
911, what's your emergency?
The moment I put the phone close to my ear and heard her again, I remained silent.
You can't speak?
I don't know where they are.
Who?
I waited a few seconds before answering.
A person is in my house.
Do you know who that person is?
I could barely focus on her questions as the amount of thoughts going through my head was abysmal.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Wait a minute. Go back.
And released the handle. It had sounded much louder than I would have liked, so I just hoped the invader immediately turned the sound down a lot more, but my hands were shaking so much that it took me longer than it should have.
911, what's your emergency?
The moment I put the phone close to my ear and heard her again, I remained silent.
You can't speak?
I don't know where they are.
Who?
I waited a few seconds before answering.
A person is in my house.
He just said, or she just said, I don't know what they are, or something like that. Or, it's kind of like the same thing as saying, I don't know who they are. And then the police operator just said, where was it?
Do you know who that person is?
Clutch, I just said, I don't know who they are. I just said that. Not you in cahoots. Not you with the shits. Cool.
I could barely focus on her questions as the amount of thoughts going through my head was abysmal.
I don't know. I don't think so. I could barely see them.
Where are you?
In my parents' room. I locked the door.
Is anyone else with you?
No. I think the person is in my bedroom.
Are you okay? Where are you?
I froze like a statue when I heard him. His voice was filled with fury. Was so nervous I couldn't take it anymore.
I don't know what he wants. Do something.
I need to know where you are.
I quickly told her my home's address.
The police are on the way.
Will they take long?
There are many officers taking care of another matter, but soon a patrol will go to your house.
Where the fuck are you?
Stay with me and keep calm.
I moved the phone away from my ear so I could hear the invader better. After all, she wasn't really helping.
Do you think I'm stupid? I saw the lamp on from outside, mother...
God.
Immediately after hearing him, I covered my mouth.
I need something, and you're going to give it to me. You can't hide in your pathetic house.
I brought the cell phone up to my ear.
What you need? What you need? Because as Austin Powers would say, I forgot what he said, but he kept just pulling out plates of food. He was like, So what you need? Some sugar, some salt, some pepper, chicken, some water, some toilet paper, paper towel. Like, what you need? I got you, player. I got you, player.
Again.
Are you there?
He's gonna find me. He's gonna kill me.
Please?
I hung up the call, put the phone on the floor, and hugged my own legs, just almost like in the fetal position.
Ooh.
My body didn't stop trembling due to uncertainty, since everything was completely silent again. Now there was only one room left. I heard the man's footsteps getting closer and closer until they reached their destination, the door of my parents' room.
Are you done playing hide and seek yet?
The entire room fell silent after his question.
Open the door. Did you hear me? Open the door or I'll shoot.
I started to cry silently, but I didn't answer him.
You're only making everything more difficult.
What different?
Suddenly, just as he had done with the front door, he started kicking the one to my parents' room. I put both hands over my mouth to keep from making noise. It was almost as if screaming was inevitable. My hands fell to the sides of my body involuntarily, and I let out all the air I had in my lungs as soon as I realized what had happened.
Look who's there.
I was so shocked that I hadn't noticed he was already in the room until we were face to face.
God
Give me
damn!
all your money.
He was pointing a gun at me.
We don't have much here. I'm only gonna ask one more time. Give me all the cash you have. Your cell phone too. I know you have it in there.
As requested, I gave him my cell phone and then led him to my bedroom to find my wallet and give him the money.
Where the cops?
Good boy. Now you're gonna let me go without saying anything. Understand? I will. I'm sure you will. Turn around.
I did as he asked, hoping that soon the nightmare would end. That's when I heard it. Click, click, click.
Shit.
Then the man ran away and left the house. Once the police arrived, I knew what was happening. A criminal had escaped from jail, and it turns out that he was the one who invaded my house. But that's not what terrifies me the most. What keeps me up at night is knowing that I could have died that day since he tried to shoot me 3 times.
I can't imagine being in that situation where you have a gun in front of your face and somebody pulled a trigger and there's no bullets in there. Do you understand that, like, I don't even know how I would react in that situation. But why he had to target your house specifically? I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe, I don't know. I just kind of felt like the cops, or she was in cahoots. With this story, you got all that, and then some. Nope. Hell no. Because you know what your landlord sounds like, or whoever's in charge of the complex. You know what she sounds like. You go from to come on, get the hell out of here. I have to pee like a mother shit. What? And then this shit. That shit was just crazy. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you, stay happy. I just have to be. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you, stay happy. My family.